Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 258. It is Sunday afternoon, and we are out for our normal Sunday drive with a lot of things going on, lots of things going through my mind. Very excited about a lot of things, but I'm kind of a little bit scared as well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit worried. I've been doing so much work on this game, and I feel like I've got it figured out, and still, I was telling a friend of mine the other day, it's like, I might have actually mentioned it on the podcast too. When I started counting cards, I've been playing Blackjack for a lot of years, and I developed an intuition about Blackjack. I started learning about high cards being good for a player, and started focusing on that more and kind of understanding the math behind it without really learning about card counting. And I got to the point where I was playing $50 a hand, and my loss for that last year was only like $2,000. And when you're playing 2 to 3 times a week and you're spending hours doing it, and you're only losing that little bit of money at that bet level, betting 50 to 300, 50 to 400 at that point, then maybe you're kind of onto something. And I didn't understand deviations, and I didn't really understand bet spreads and stuff like that. But I kind of had an idea of what I was doing. And when I was gambling, I figured, I know what I'm doing because I have this system. But when I started playing with an edge, and I started winning, especially at the beginning, like right away, I heard on Blackjack apprenticeship videos and other places that, at the beginning you could have some really tough times and make sure your bankroll is big enough and all this stuff. And I had some immediate success, and I'm like, well, come on, it doesn't work that fast, It's probably just luck that I won. And I didn't really believe that the system was working. I believed that maybe it was just luck or variance or something like that. And I'm in the same boat now when I finally feel like, 2 games ago when I felt like I had it figured out, and it did not happen. And then this last game that I tried, and I thought I had it figured out, and I had a positive, I had profit on it, and it turned out that I was wrong. And now we're at a new game here, and I think I have it figured out, and I went through 7 iterations so far, and all of them were positive, and I'm like, okay, is it real, or is it just, variance? So I'm excited and nervous at the same time because I don't want it to be another failure. I'm so excited that it could be real, but at the same time, cautiously optimistic. So anyway, like I said, today is Sunday, October 19th, and it's raining today, and so we're off for the day. It's about 1:40 p.m., and yesterday I had a little bit of free play. I ended up losing it, but I went to pick up this free play, and I had my boy in the car with me, and we parked next to this big truck. It had a bunch of young guys in it, and my son was a little bit nervous. I'm like, I'm parking out here because really kid's not supposed to be in the car while I go in there, but you're way out here and no one's going to see. And he's nervous about these young guys in this truck, and I'm like, everything's going to be fine, And I went in, and I actually ended up ahead, but very slightly. I ended up ahead $51. And I came back, it was like $50.75, so I had a voucher. And I said to my son, here, I'm ahead $50. And he's like, oh, that's good. I said, well, do you want a percentage of it? And he's like, sure. And I said, well, what percentage would you want? He's like, I don't know, whatever, whatever you want. I said, well, why don't you just pick a number? And he goes, how about $5? And I said, okay. I said, how about $25? So I gave him $25 of it. And I said, would you like to go get some ice cream? And he's like, sure. And so we ended up going to Wendy's, and he got a Frosty, and I actually got one for me too. So I know I'm trying to keep low carb and all that stuff, but I thought it was a fun little thing to do with my son, and we had a good time, and we talked, and took a long drive home, and everything was cool. We actually stopped by Home Depot yesterday as well, and I bought those really thick, like half-inch or thicker mats to put in my shed for the floor. And they're like nice, thick rubber mats. They weighed about 80 or 90 pounds each. and I put those down, and I just have to cut one of them to make that one fit, and that project will be done. But he did that with me, and we had a good time kind of traveling and talking together. So right now I'm stopped at a red light here forever for some reason. But we're going to get on the highway here in a little while, and we're heading out to our first casino of the day. And today's going to be an interesting day because today I'm going to attempt to get into at least one casino that I'm not supposed to be in. And I have a specific goal there, so we're gonna try to see what happens there. I did tell one person about it that knows me, and I said, if anything were to happen, I'll probably give you a call between this time and this time when I go in there, in case I get arrested or something. And don't worry about money. I'll have plenty of money in my pocket for the bail if I need bail, but I should be fine. I just want to let you know, if you see me, call, that there might be an issue and I might need your help. So he said okay, and we're cool. So we are heading out to our first location. About 2.5 hours into this trip, we're gonna stop for some gas, and then we'll be able to continue the trip there, and then we'll stop for some fuel on the way home as well. So for now, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. We're about 40 minutes away from our first stop. It's been an exhausting drive already. Lots of hours, rain on and off, had my wipers on and off the whole time. And right now it's lightening up just a little bit here, but still got a long little, this area that I'm going to be driving through has a lot of construction. So I got to put up with this for another 40 minutes or so, I guess, and then we'll be getting there. So I'm ready to go. It's just I have limited options in this town. I am going to try to get into a casino I'm not supposed to be in, so we'll see what happens with that. I want to wait until the next shift for sure on that one. I think their shifts are 10:30 in the morning for pit bosses, 11 o'clock for dealers, which would mean 6:30 the pit bosses leave and the dealers leave at 7. Sometimes surveillance is there for 1 to 2 hours after that, although I know for a fact that this surveillance is actually not that way. But let me think here. I think this surveillance leaves at 8. Right, 8 to maybe 7 to 3, or 8 to 4 for this surveillance. So we'll try to get there a little bit after 8 o'clock and see if we can even get in the front door. I hear that these guys are now asking for ID at the door, so if that happens, we're just going to leave. I am going to be wearing different clothes than I normally do. Also be wearing a hat, which I really never do. Just make myself look different. We'll be walking down the street and in through one of the off areas, not one of the normal entrances that we use. So we'll see if any of that stuff helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I really want to try to get into this place one time here, and we'll see what happens. So right now we're going to continue on to our first spot, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. I am heading over to my car. We are going to go to the place that last time they're like, you're going to have to leave. I'm like, why do I have to leave? I don't have to tell you. I know you don't have to tell me, but what's the reason? You didn't back me off, did you? Well, I guess they did, but they didn't trespass me, that's for sure. And then their sister property, they didn't trespass me either, even though they told me to leave twice after that. So I guess I'm still allowed to go there. I just checked with a guy, and he said that they are not checking for ID, even though I'm telling you, everybody has been telling me that they are. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to head over to this place, and we're going to have a not much of a disguise, but a little bit of a disguise. Just dress differently than I usually do. Put a jacket on, put a hat on, stuff like that. I'm not going to park in their parking garage, and we're just going to go over there and see if they ask for ID. If they do, we'll leave. If they don't, we'll go in, Then we're going to walk around for a little while and see if anybody walks up to us and says anything, and we'll figure it out from there. Let me tell you how things went in here. Okay, honey. All right, let me take a look here. I got to put the slot one in here. A huge slot one, gigantic. All right. So I go into this place and play a few slots and end that little session ahead, $71. So 71 on the slots. Then I wanted to play Pot Limit Omaha, but there was nothing available, and I was like 6th on the list, and it was going to take forever, and I knew it. I went around looking for a blackjack table, couldn't find anything I liked. The wrong crew was here, so I didn't want to get in. Even if I found something, most likely I wouldn't be sitting down. So I went back to the poker room, and there was a seat open on the 1-3. There was like 20 people waiting, but they were all phone calls, so nobody was there. So I sat down on the 1-3, played there for about a little over an hour, and then I was called over to the Pot Limit Omaha table finally. And so I got up. When I got up, I was down $144, so minus 144 on the 1-3 no limit. And I go to the pot limit, and that game was fired up, man. I'm telling you, if I was really good at this, I would have stayed there and I would have fired some more. But I made my money, and I wanted to leave. I wanted to lock it up. But believe me, there's opportunity if I knew what I was doing. There really is. I played that table for less than a half hour, and ended up walking away plus $609. One winning hand, $609. And then I was walking around looking at slots again, checking out the clock. It's getting close to the time I want to be at this other place, and I run into this guy, and he is a poker player, and someone taught him a couple slots, and now every time he finds a slot, he wants to call me and split it, and I'm like, dude, I'm not even there. I'm like 4 hours away from there right now. Oh, it's okay. And I'm like, no. So today we saw each other, and he wanted to split a play that he found, and it's like we're both walking around checking out the machines. This is a 75-cent play. I'm like, dude, you don't have to split that with me. It's not a big deal. And he's like, no, we are together. We're going to split it. I'm like, okay. So we split it. We made $7 each on that play. I was actually paid pretty well for the actual situation. And I thought it was going to be like $2. And I'm like, why are we even talking about this? But he gave me my $7, and that was it. So what did we make there? 680 minus 144, 580, 456. Something like that. I don't know. 446. I don't know. Anyway, 680, 580, 540, 536. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, so we're okay there. We're going to move on to this other casino. I'm going to get my disguise on. We're going to park down the street a little bit, and we're going to go in and see what happens here. Hopefully, I'll be okay. I'll be able to come back and at least play slots. Hopefully, they're just not happy with me on the tables. But even if I just pick up an opportunity to play slots again, that'll be at least, whatever, $50, $75 more a day that I can pick up. That's money to me. So we'll see what happens. So that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, man. I am back. Nerve-wracking, really. Mainly, I wanted to check out this game, see if they had it, and they did. The problem is, how am I ever going to get to play it with heat on me? I either need to wait for a really, really long time or something. I was able to sit for a few minutes. I went round and round, waiting. Finally, was able to sit down and just played just a little bit just to see if everything was good and if it worked the same way here, and it did. So it worked out. So the money's not important, even though I made money, because it's still a work in progress. I did park down the street, and there was a place that had like $5 parking, so I did the $5 parking away from the casino, away from the cameras and all that stuff. And so this guy's worked pretty well too, because I was sitting next to some people that I know from the other city, and no, I've known him for a few years now. And I sat next to him, and she's like, well, when I left, I talked to them for a second. I said, hey man, let me talk to you over here. I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, I thought that was you. I thought that was his girlfriend. It's his mother. So, yeah, so talked to him for a few minutes. She's like, I didn't even recognize you. She thought that you looked like somebody, but she wasn't sure who. But now we know. And I told him what happened, and he's like, okay, well, that's what we heard. Somebody told us that because there was the one guy on my way out that day, and I'm like, hey man, this is going on, and just wanted you to know to be careful. And so he must have told someone who told them, so at least they all understand what's going on and they're being careful. But yeah, I was in and out and made a little bit. And right now I think we're going to maybe head back to where we were before this. It's still kind of early. The next further place away is hours away, so I think we'll just go back to that same casino again. And I'm glad everything worked out. Glad it's the way that I thought that it was. And next trip I think is going to be Vegas, so I'll get that Vegas trip booked immediately, and we'll try to make some money there. But man, what a relief, man. I was told that they asked for ID, and they actually had the same sign up that some of these other casinos have, like word for word, that they would be checking for ID and all that kind of stuff. But I was walked in, the guy didn't say a word to me, so very interesting. I do believe that this would be the only shift that I could do this at here, though, and I think, you know, give it a year, I could probably go to most of the shifts. But right now I don't feel like getting arrested or having any problems, you know, hours before I have to go to the office to work. So anyway, positive overall, and moving on. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and I went back to that place, and no blackjack again. Played some slots, ran into some people that I haven't seen for a long time, and ended up playing 10 machines probably, and just a lot of ups and downs, and just mainly downs. I was mainly down most of the time until the very end there, but I wasted another couple hours on that trying to find some money somewhere, and I ended up leaving ahead only $76. So yeah, it's back to the same old grind. And it's interesting, when I went to Colorado, I thought it was going to be the same thing, but there were some beautiful machines there that I hit over and over and over again. People would fill them up and I'd empty them out repeatedly, and we made a ton of money off those. But unfortunately, we're back to the grind again. So after I went to that casino I'm not supposed to be in, I came back to this one, and as I was leaving, I saw a guy from the other casino that was related to that one that I'm not supposed to be in. And he was like, yeah, we all wondered what happened to you, and, you know, we heard some rumors from a guy. And I'm like, yeah, I told him, you know, as I was being walked out, I mentioned what was going on, and I asked about how everybody was doing, and he told me. So but he's here. You know, this is kind of a long way away for a local person to go to come to this casino. Obviously, he's making his rounds for the night. Maybe he's got a lot of energy, but it's after midnight right now, and he's over in this area. So anyway, like I said, talked to him for a little bit, and ended up leaving the casino ahead another $76. And we are moving on, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, stopped a couple times and still didn't get what I needed. I stopped for some food and ended up not finding anything, getting some cheese and like meat snacks. Stopped again to get gas, and they were pretty much out of gas, so I ended up with getting like a gallon of gas. So it's kind of weird, but we're just continuing on here. We can do our segments here real quick. What did you eat today, MW? This morning I had or lunchtime, had some chicken breast, some nice sauteed onions. That was pretty good. I'd give that a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. And this evening I had some Arby's roast beef, no bun, lots of horsey sauce. I give that probably a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? Probably tipped around $6 playing poker and Omaha. Only won one hand in Omaha. That's all I needed to triple up, and walked away from the table. And what did you learn today, MW? I learned that the one casino that supposedly is checking everyone's ID is not. And I also talked to a guy at the end of my day there, and he told me they only check it about 10% of the time. Sometimes they'll just randomly check you, so who knows. But I did get some information about that casino, what's going on there. The games are there right now, and that's actually pretty helpful. So right now we're going to continue on home. It's about 3 o'clock right now. Still have a long way to go. I'm going to get home, get a little bit of rest, and head out to work, and we'll start a fresh week in the morning. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little indifferent about today. Made probably $600 or so in a very painful way. A lot of work, and almost all of it was just the one Omaha hand. So I can't say too much good stuff about today, but we'll build on things tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.